It was a misty evening in the small town of Millfield, and John was walking home from work. As he passed by the old cemetery, he heard a faint voice calling his name.
John. John.
He stopped in his tracks, looking around to see who was calling him.
Who's there?
Over here, John.
John followed the sound, and soon he found himself standing in front of an old, abandoned mausoleum.
Who's inside there?
It's me, John. Your old friend, James.
John's heart skipped a beat. James had died a few years ago in a car accident.
That's impossible. James is dead.
I know, John. But I need your help. I'm trapped in here. Please, you have to get me out.
John hesitated for a moment, but then he approached the door of the mausoleum. As he pushed it open, he heard a loud creaking sound, and a musty smell filled his nostrils. He stepped inside and looked around, but he couldn't see anything in the darkness.
James, where are you?
Over here, John.
James, are you in there?
Yes, John. I'm inside the coffin. Please, help me.
John followed the sound of James' voice until he saw a faint light at the end of the tunnel. He walked towards it, and soon he found himself in a small room with a stone coffin in the center. John approached the coffin, and he saw that the lid was slightly open. He tried to push it further, but it wouldn't budge.
It's stuck. James! I can't open it!
Suddenly, he heard a whispering sound, and he felt a cold breath on the back of his neck.
John, run.
The next morning, the caretaker of the cemetery found John's body inside the mausoleum, with bite marks on his neck. No one knows what really happened to John that night, but some say that he was cursed by the ghost of James, who had been seeking revenge for being abandoned by his friend in life. Others believe that there was something more sinister lurking in the darkness of the mausoleum, waiting to claim its next victim. One thing is for sure, though, the town of Millfield has never been the same since that misty evening, and people still whisper about the strange and terrifying things that happened in the old cemetery for some unknown reason. After John's death, strange things began to happen in Millfield. People reported seeing ghostly apparitions in the cemetery, and some claimed that they heard strange whispers calling their names. But the most terrifying thing was the appearance of a dark figure, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next victim. Rumors began to spread that the ghost of James had been awakened by John's intrusion into the mausoleum, and that he was now seeking revenge on the living. No one dared to venture into the cemetery after dark, and the town became shrouded in an eerie silence. Years went by, and the memory of John's death began to fade. But the legend of the ghost of James lived on, and no one ever forgot the horrors that had taken place in Millfield. To this day, the cemetery remains abandoned, and the locals still avoid it at all costs. Some say that if you listen closely, you can still hear the faint whispers calling out your name.